Okay, the narrative around Marvel Rivals is getting pretty hilarious now. I mean, with its huge roster of free characters and super fun gameplay, people were already like, damn, Overwatch, you better watch your back. Recently, NetEase have started putting out some rather spicy skins, and now everyone is like, yep, Overwatch is cooked. But it's funny because there seems to be a huge misunderstanding happening here. And while a vocal group of people credit Marvel Rivals' success to not pushing the woke agenda, I actually think Marvel Rivals might be an example of how to do sexy characters right. I'm Ash Dixon, and this is GINX News. Right, let's not pretend Marvel Rivals didn't burst out the gate with hot women to play. Psylocke, Luna Snow, and well, obviously everyone went nuts over Squirrel Girls' thick thighs. But yeah, things very much got turned up a notch at the announcement that the Fantastic Four would be joining the battle. Already from the first image teasing them, people were out here hoping that Invisible Woman would be the one character that doesn't actually use her signature superpower. And you know what? I've got to credit NetEase here on the big brain move. A lot of people hate invisibility in games, whereas here, when Invisible Woman disappears, people will be too busy thinking like, wait, no, come back. But boy, that was just the start, because when they announced her first skin based on her twisted persona Malice, let's just say it broke the internet. In fact, the OG Reddit thread for this was hilarious. It immediately got labeled as a Guna skin, and everyone knew it would sell like hotcakes. And is this surprising from NetEase? No, this game is inspired by Overwatch, which has the thirstiest fanbase alive. But while most people were just appreciating and assessing that Malice skin, I did notice this narrative pop up of people being like, woo, go NetEase for not being woke. And this is because you've had recent games like Stellar Blade where people did take issue with how characters were sexualized. I personally rolled my eyes when I first saw that release trailer. But do you know what's funny? I've not heard that kind of reaction about Marvel Rivals. So why is that? First of all, disclaimer, not a woman. I'm definitely not the most qualified person to talk about the objectification of women in gaming. I would encourage them to comment down below so we get a range of different women's perspectives. But I know how this goes. We'll probably just get a bunch of dudes pretending to be women. But despite that, I have been having some conversations recently with lots of people, and they've led to some interesting conclusions. One person pointed out that in Stellar Blade, all of the women in that game, basically all incredibly sexualized. The men, meanwhile, well, they're all suited up with enough layers to make Shrek jealous.
You know, not everybody like onions.
They said that women often enjoy looking and feeling sexy. They often themselves enjoy looking at women who are hot and sexy. But that's all in the understanding that those sexy women deserve to be respected at the same time. When there's this blazingly obvious double standard across genders, well, it doesn't really create the sense that that's happening. Marvel Rivals, on the other hand, has plenty of male hotties. Yeah, it helps that most of them are wearing skin-tight suits. It often makes it look like they're wearing nothing at all. And then you've got dudes like Namor who's just, whew, and he's not even the hottest one. We all know Venom takes the cake.
Yeah, I'm just looking at his ass.
Basically, Marvel Rivals has managed to make Smash or Pass the most boring game ever. Like, what would be the point in playing? Alexa, say Smash 37 times.
Smash, smash.
See, it's just
smash,
boring.
Smash,
wait, Alexa,
smash,
stop. Alexa, stop! Back to the Malice skin though, and it does have the benefit that the original comic book character looked like this. Now, just because a character was drawn that way in the 80s, does that make it okay? Obviously not. There's plenty of problematic misogynistic examples in Marvel comics, but it definitely does help NetEase out with a justification, because they can just be like, well, we didn't design the characters. And is Marvel Rivals perfect? No, obviously not. Bar Squirrel Girl, basically all of the women have identical body shapes, butts, and cup sizes. Ultimately, it comes down to representation. It must be so frustrating as a woman when so many characters across media fall into two categories. The hot babe with no personality who exists purely to be the sexual interest of the male protagonist, or the super cool female protagonist with zero flaws and always wins. Obviously, there's exceptions, but for me, it's the exact reason I didn't like the Netflix adaptation of Avatar: The Last Airbender. In the cartoon, Katara is this incredible, passionate young woman grappling with envy and a fiery temper. In the live action series, they just completely strip her of that or of anything interesting, turning her into this one-dimensional, boring woman who's great at everything and is just apparently a master of bending that takes everyone else decades to perfect. And what's funny is that Marvel is guilty of putting its female characters in both of those boxes, which makes it all the more ridiculous when I see comments saying, oh, Marvel Rivals is successful because it's not pushing the woke agenda or caving into the alphabet mafia. Bro, Marvel has been having front page gay weddings for over a decade. If anything, for me, it plays into the narrative that it's kind of irrelevant if someone thinks a game is woke or not, because evidently if it is good enough, well then most people seem to stop caring, Baldur's Gate 3 being the prime example, and I think it takes away from the real reasons Marvel Rivals should be celebrated, because it ticks 3 simple boxes. It runs well, it plays well, and the monetization isn't greedy AF. I mean, look at this graph. Over the weekend, it hit a new all-time peak player count, over 640,000 people. That is an insanely good sign for a free-to-play shooter. A free-to-play shooter reliant on selling cosmetics. Anyway, go subscribe so I can get the Malice skin. Okay, bye.